FairyTale, Queen of the Snakes. The islanders had been living in fear for several months already. Thing is, snakes appeared on their island. At first there weren't many, then more appeared, and very soon they were everywhere. Under the rocks, in the dry leaves, in the grass, in the bushes. They were even crawling into the houses already. The poor islanders asked for help, but no one knew what to do. On the island there lived a very wise and respected old man. He lived alone and didn't see anyone, except for his grandson named Chick. Chick was a cheerful and kind boy. He tended his neighbor's goats and on holidays went boat fishing. The islanders came to the wise old man, told him about their misfortune and asked what they should do. "I think," he replied, "the Queen of the Snakes has come to our island and she's calling her servants to come here. You can easily recognize her by the small crown on her head, and if someone manages to catch and drive the Snake Queen away, then the other snakes will immediately crawl away after her. But catching and driving her away won't be easy, and whoever dares to take up the task will be in great danger." His words made the islanders sad, because finding the Snake Queen was really difficult, and nobody wanted to put themselves in harm's way. One day, Chick was sitting in his boat holding a fishing rod and gazing into the blue and crystal clear water. Tall, steep cliffs rose above the water. The waves lashed against the rocks and rolled back with foam. On one such occasion, when the waves rolled back, Chick suddenly noticed a small cave entrance. And he decided to find out what was hidden there. Suddenly, the boy saw a snake on the rocks. Countless other snakes were crawling after her, and on her head she had a shiny golden crown. Fast as lightning, she and her companions disappeared into the cave. "That must be the Queen of Snakes," Chick thought. He decided to sail to the cave to try and catch the queen. According to his grandpa, you could take away the Snake Queen's magic powers by removing the golden crown from her head. Of course, she could bite you with her venomous teeth. But Chick, without a thought to his own safety, decided to try to save his people. He sailed up to the cave in the cliff and with great difficulty steered his boat through the low entrance. The waves rushing into the cave helped him. Chick found himself in a big, beautiful cavern. The walls, the roof, the rocks, everything inside was sky blue. And in the center there was a sparkling lake. Around the lake, on the rocks, in the water, dangerous snakes swarmed everywhere. Their glittering eyes stared straight at him. Their forked tongues teased him. Chick jumped out of the boat in fear and climbed onto a steep rock rising out of the water. But not a single snake chased after him. Chick began watching the snakes, and soon the golden crown of the Snake Queen flashed before him again. The queen noticed the boy, rose out of the water, and began crawling to him onto the rock. Chick was sure he was a gunner. He thought the snake was about to bite him, and he couldn't help but shut his eyes. But imagine his surprise when two soft arms suddenly embraced him, and he heard a gentle, quiet voice. On the rock next to him sat a beauty in a shiny dress, wrapped in a brilliant, multicolored cape. "Don't be afraid," she said with a gentle smile. "We will have mercy on you. The snakes need a king. Do you want to become king of the snakes? Like me, you will wear a golden crown, and I will give you magic powers. Together, we will become mighty rulers of the island. The people won't be able to defeat us." "I can't do that," shouted Chick, trying to free himself from the Snake Queen's arms. But she smiled even more tenderly and continued, "Don't be foolish. From a poor orphan, you will become a rich and powerful king. I have precious treasures, and they're all yours. Look and marvel." She waved her arm. The walls of the cave parted, and Chick saw precious stones, gold and silver. At the queen's signal, a beautiful girl, who in the blink of an eye jumped out of a snakeskin, gave her mistress a golden crown. "I give this crown to you. said the Snake Queen. "Bow your head towards me, and I will decorate you with a sign of royalty." But Chick angrily pushed her away, saying, "I'd rather die." "You can take whatever form you want, but you'll still be a snake, which fills me with horror and disgust." The beauty turned back into a snake and hissed, "So I'll get even with you for this. You will die from my anger." She was about to leap on Chick, but despair gave him courage. He grabbed the golden royal crown, and at that very instant, the Snake Queen fell to the ground at his feet. She begged Chick to return the crown to her, but the boy wouldn't think of it. Holding the crown way up high, he jumped into his boat and sailed back to the sea. Chick saw how all the snakes rushed away from the cave and disappeared. The boy rowed as hard as he could. Barely getting back home, he showed his grandpa the crown and told him what happened. The old man praised him and advised him to throw the treasure into the fire. The boy did just that. The flames sprang up high. There was a hiss and a whistle. In the flames, Chick saw the Queen of the Snakes. She flared up for a moment and was instantly gone. From that day, no one has ever seen any snakes on the island, and the islanders began to live in joy and happiness again. So that's how, my little friends, the brave and clever Chick was able to save a whole island from snakes. And remember, quick wit and courage can always defeat evil and treachery. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like, and don't forget to share our fairy tales with your friends. Fairy tale. Two greedy little bears. On the other side of the glass mountains, beyond the silk meadow, there was a deep, dark forest where no man had set foot before. In the very heart of this dense forest, there lived an old she-bear. She had 2 sons. When the cubs grew up, they decided to go around the world in search of happiness. First, they came to their mother and, as is proper, said goodbye to her. The old she-bear hugged her sons and asked them never to part with each other. The cubs promised to do as their mother asked and set off on their journey. They walked and walked. They walked one day and then another day. And then the time came when they ran out of food. The cubs were very hungry. They walked sadly side by side. "Oh, brother, I'm so hungry," the younger one complained. "And I'm hungry too," said the older one. The cubs kept walking and walking through the forest, when suddenly they found a big round head of cheese. They wanted to divide it equally, but couldn't manage. And then greed got the better of them. Each one was afraid that the other would get more. They argued, growled, and almost got into a fight. Then suddenly, a fox heard their arguments and came up to them. "What are you youngsters arguing about?" asked the fox. The cubs told the fox about their problem. The fox smiled slyly and said, "That's no problem. Let me divide the cheese equally for you." "Who's younger? Who's older? It makes no difference to me." "That would be super," the cubs cheerfully thanked the fox. "Divide it." The fox took the cheese and broke it in 2. But she split the head in such a way that one piece was bigger than the other. The cub shouted, "Oh, you divided it wrong! This piece is bigger!" The fox reassured them. "Take it easy, youngsters. It's no big deal. I'll take care of it." She took a bite out of the larger piece and swallowed it. Now the smaller piece became the larger piece. "That's uneven too," the cubs protested. All right, chill out, she said. I know what I'm doing. And she took another bite from the larger piece. Now the larger piece became the smaller again. That's uneven too, the cub shouted. Be patient, said the fox, turning her tongue with difficulty, since her mouth was full of yummy cheese. Just a little more, and everything will be equal. The fox continued dividing the cheese, and the cubs just moved their black noses back and forth, from the larger piece to the smaller one, from the smaller one to the larger one. Until the fox had eaten her fill, she kept dividing and dividing. Finally, the pieces were even, but there was hardly any cheese left for the cubs. Only 2 tiny pieces remained. Well, said the fox, although the pieces are small, at least they are even. Bon appetit, cubs. And wagging her tail, she ran off. So you see, my little friends, what happens to those who are greedy. Remember, greed is not a good quality, especially if it concerns your brothers, sisters, or close friends. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like, and don't miss our new fairy tales.